what I'm asking people to do is, as I said, think about, like, if I give you some knowledge, or you find out knowledge about food, how you then react to that knowledge. Because for me, it's kind of interesting how we've been trained, how we think once we're given new knowledge. Some people will like react positively to it and evolve from it. Other people, like I used to be, will close off to it and would be like, I don't want to entertain this. My life's too busy. I'd rather just not think about it.
Okay.
And so the food connection with that. Basically, I want to ask you guys, if you're considering animal welfare, the environment, and human health, have you ever considered not eating animal products?
I have.
You have, yeah?
I'll be honest, I kind of just think, if I don't see it, it's okay. I find when I watch one of them documentaries, like with the horses, I feel really bad.
Horses?
Yeah, when when the big scam went round where Tesco's using horse meat and everything.
Yeah, oh I see, yeah.
And they showed a documentary of like the horses getting slaughtered and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was really sad. I'd like to say I stopped eating meat, I didn't.
Okay.
Because I really love meat. That sounds
It's the taste, isn't it?
So good.
And yourself, or just sort of?
Yeah, I've thought about it once or twice, and I've just sort of decided to go with the compromise of sort of cutting back.
Okay, eating less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you say, that occasionally something comes along and goes, well, this is actually really bad, and you might stop for a little bit. It's quite easy to go back to old habits.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's like, it sometimes takes more effort to change than it does to carry on as you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying about have you seen more slaughterhouse footage? So you're saying about the horses, it was the horses being slaughtered.
Yeah, I remember there was a Facebook video that went around with the chickens as well.
Okay, at the same time sort of thing, or just something else maybe?
It was a little bit wild later. But I find very much watching things like that gets to a point where I'm like, just anything.
It's a bit hard, isn't it? It's a bit like, it's gruesome, and I don't know, I mean, everyone's different because everyone reacts differently. I personally am like a little bit, I get a bit upset, a bit angry about it.
Yeah, I think it'd be easier for us to control how much we ate if it was back to older times where we reared our own stock.
In gardens and stuff.
Yeah, and then like actually slaughtered it ourselves.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go into the shops, it's just sort of pretty packaging. It looks
a bit quite convenient.
Yeah.
Do you think you could kill animals yourself?
Could.
Yourself?
I probably could, yeah.
If it was like in a life and death, or just?
No, I think if you reared something as livestock for that purpose, then I think it would be reasonable to slaughter it yourself.
Yeah.
Not saying you not enjoy it, but
it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah. That's cool. Would you guys say you've ever had pets at home before, like dogs and cats yourself?
Yeah.
Would you say that you sort of had a strong connection with them, and sort of loved them, maybe? Like.
Yeah. But we've got ducks as well, which are kind of in the middle ground. Okay. Because obviously we take the eggs from them.
Yep. A bit like chickens.
A bit like chickens. Yeah. Big chickens, and there is obviously the option that we could get them sourced. So it's a bit of a different.
Okay, yeah. You've got two relationships. You've got one that's like a companion animal dog.
Yeah.
And then you've got another one which is the duck, which is a food provider and potential meat. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you still like them, and it's nice to have them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not. They're not coming in the house. It's not the same sort of interaction that builds that.
Do you think if we lived somewhere else, like say, I don't know, like India, and ducks were like, instead of our cats and dogs, it was ducks there?
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to sort of form a bond the same way that you could with a dog?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What about a sheep or a chicken?
Yeah. I just love animals.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, tell me your personality.
Yeah, it might take a while to sort of get used to it. And
well, no. Okay, sorry. So you were like, you're born into that sort of tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Yeah. And this might be a bit hard for you to hear, but like, do you think there's a bit of a disconnect when we love animals, but then we eat them or eat some of them?
Yeah.
I think there is a bit, but at the same time, been rearing animals for such a long time, and even very early.
Sure.
On within like farming and herding.
Sure.
There's been that distinction between animals that are for food and animals that are for work.
But that's created.
Yeah.
That's a created kind of like, you know, in 50 years' time we could start loving ducks, you know what I mean? In the same, you know what I mean? And we start eating dogs because actually we find that the meat's got this extra nutrient that ducks don't have.
I mean, it's like when, again, the videos that were on Facebook, when they showed the dog slaughterhouses in like China and stuff.
Yeah.
My view of that was like, well, how's that different from how we eat cows?
Oh, you actually thought that as you were watching it?
Yeah. I was like, it's okay to go, well, that's a dog, we can't eat that. I was like, but that's what they eat over there. It's exactly what we do with cows and pigs and whatnot over here.
Well, so you guys have considered not eating meat. What do you think what would be like a blockage to stopping you? Those blockages that stop you from doing it?
I think personally a lot of it is practicality.
Okay.
In terms of if you cut meat out of your diet, you've got to pick up that loss in terms of, you know, what your body needs somewhere else. Yeah. And it is like,
what loss? What's the loss?
So in terms of sort of protein and just pure energy intake per day, that's got to be picked up somewhere else.
Okay.
And in terms of variety, it cuts out quite. I know there's a lot you can do.
Yeah, it slightly reduces it.
Yeah.
You know that there's almost a vegan option for every single meat out there now. Yeah. As long as you can get to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. However, the new plant burgers do look really good.
Which ones?
So these scientists realised that you can get the same kind of hemoglobin chemical in
Impossible Foods.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that actually looks really good. I would eat that if that was in the shops.
My personal taste buds, when I eat the mock meats now, my taste buds are like, this is pretty much there. Sometimes I'm like, if you blindfolded me and mixed them up, I personally wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I'm not saying that's everyone's taste buds, but we get into a stage now with technology, with the understanding of how protein's made and that kind of thing, and there's like leading on from the Impossible Burger, there's a burger now that has like more protein than steak, more iron than red meat, more calcium than milk, and all these other, you know what I mean? In one little burger, it's called the Beast Burger. So it's just sort of coming out. So so people like you who are cautious of where those nutrients are coming from. With the nutrition side of things, do you ever think about like the cholesterol that you're putting in your body, or the hormones from the animals, or the saturated fats, or the antibiotics that are in the animals and stuff?
I've never thought about the sort of hormonal and antibiotic side of it, really. In terms of things like the fats and the cholesterol, it is a concern. Yeah. I do things like mix corn and mince, or corn and chicken.
The actual mock meat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you sort of got to go half and half and strike a balance and do it there. But it is kind of a concern.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm a geek, the only reason I know about these things is because I'm a geek, and I'm like, what's going into my body, what's going into the bodies of my family and stuff like that, and I'm like, actually, we're not being told the truth. No. There's a whole lot that they don't want us to know about, because if we knew about it, like you were saying about the videos and stuff, if when you're buying a steak or a burger, it came with this little video clip on it, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'll just go, I'm going to have the vegetarian option, you know what I mean? Yeah. But because there's marketing and money involved, we're not told about all these things. We're not, bird flu and swine flu. Mm-hmm. So there's other like more powerful ones called like MRSA. Have you heard of that? Oh yeah. Campylobacter.
Not heard of that.
Yeah, so that was in like, off the top of my head, it's like 2/3 of chicken. And the thing is about Campylobacter is, sorry, I'm going to go like. That's right. The thing is about Campylobacter is that it's so hard to find, and as I said, 2/3 of chickens at one stage in the last 5 years had Campylobacter in. But some of the things they burn off. So we burn off Campylobacter, you burn off E. coli, you burn off Salmonella. Mm-hmm. But the strange thing to me is that we buy them and we put them in our fridges. I haven't got kids, but if I had kids, you're in that environment, you're taking the chicken out, you're putting it on the side, you're washing your hands with it, and it's kind of like, actually, that's not healthy.
Yeah, not thought about that.
You not thought about it? Okay,
no.
I'm glad we're having this conversation, because like, it was about 8 years ago that somebody, like a stranger, came up to me and gave me this book, and I started like thinking about where my food was coming from, and like it was a really good book. It wasn't like 100%. I wouldn't like. There's holes in the book, but from those holes, I found other actual facts to sort of fill it in. But basically, yeah, it was a stranger came up to me, sold me this recipe book. It was about vegetarianism, and I was like, yeah, that's all right. And I started reading the book gradually, and then I was like, as I said, learning about our food and what's in it and stuff, and kind of like fascinates me what's going on and how much we're conditioned as human beings to eat a certain way. And then when you question the norms, you get labelled and you get put down and you get like alienated. It's like it's like you're doing something that's helping the planet, and then you're like, you're a weirdo. It's like, whoa, isn't this our home?
Yeah.
No, I think it is something always that everyone should consider, doing, or at least thinking about and trying to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd sort of recommend that everyone go veggie or vegan.
Why not?
I don't know. It's the sort of thing that on a scale would have a very large knock-on effect further back down the chain.
Do you know about the environment at the moment in the world?
Yeah, a bit.
So you know about the biggest cause of greenhouse gases is animal agriculture.
Yeah.
The oceans are being destroyed because of animal agriculture. What else is going on? Species loss, species extinction. Majority of it is animal agriculture. So I understand what you're saying. There are implications of everybody going vegan, and there's like things we have to put in place. But at the moment, we're sort of like on this downward. There's like a cliff, and we're all on this massive train as humanity. And unfortunately, what we're putting into our mouths is contributing to speeding up the train.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two ways to look at it, and one is to cut back on eating meat and animal products, and using animal products in the other way, because that's the other thing that comes into it, is the sort of use of the byproducts from the meat industry, things like tallow, leather, even down to things like feathers. But
there's an alternative.
Of course there is. But speaking of alternatives, of course now what can be grown in a lab is coming up, and they've started looking at lab-grown meat that doesn't have those side effects.
Yeah, it doesn't have an environmental impact that is as bad as the meat. Yeah.
So I think instead of going, okay, we're not going to do this at all, I think it's kind of like, what are the alternatives to this? What can we do to get rid of this effect? Because it is a huge effect.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think it's right to just go, well, this isn't something we can do.
What about like in the UK we have car tax for the older your car is, the higher the tax. So why couldn't we, do you know what I mean? If we're going to implement those reasons to help the environment. The problem is the government don't want to look at animal products because they've got too many vested interests, in my opinion. The environment is in a really bad way.
Yeah.
And we're kind of like throwing fuel onto the fire. And you're saying you don't think people should reduce?
No, I think it's totally fair to reduce.
Yeah.
But to cut out entirely is a bit jumping the gun almost.
Okay, I think I'm coming across the wrong way. I'd never say to people go vegan overnight.
Yeah.
The majority of people I know, none of them, well, a few of them have done it, and it's possible. I would definitely say reduce, transition. So would you agree that was something that people could do?
Yeah.
It's like transition, like say like leaving fish or leaving one type of meat.
Yeah. And
then get used to it, and then like you already do, just include more and more of the mock meats and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a totally fair sort of sentiment to try.
Yeah. You've brought up a really good point about the synthetic meats as well, because there are certain people who love meat, regardless if you give them something that pretty much tastes the same.
Yeah.
You're then creating this thing that they can have that as you say, has such a much smaller footprint.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the moment, though, is that the technology is really expensive.
Yeah.
And we're going to be waiting for it to, come about to be tested for humans to test. But what we do have is the Beast Burger, the Impossible Foods burger.
Yeah.
Do you guys know about world record breaking vegan athletes? You ever heard about that?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to try and tap into my brain. The strongest man in his field is a guy called Patrick Baboumian. He is a world record breaking strongman. He lifted 555 kilograms over 10 meters on his back. He only eats plants. Fiona Oakes is a marathon runner. She has run a marathon on every continent on Earth, including the North Pole and South Pole. She set a world record by doing it under just an incredible amount of between the marathons. There's a couple from Australia. All these are vegans. They ran 366 consecutive marathons over 366 days around Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, so why I'm telling you that is because we have this stigma about people who don't eat meat, that you won't get something. But actually, like those things I was talking earlier about, the saturated fat and the cholesterol and the Campylobacter, you're actually not putting them in your body. And there's lots of studies showing that if you eat more plant-based, that you have lots of health benefits. Have you guys heard those things as well? Have you ever heard that before?
Sort of a little bit.
Yeah. So there's more and more growing, mounting evidence. The NHS say that as long as you eat a well-balanced vegan diet, you're healthy. There's big companies in America who assess diet and stuff like that. So basically, why I'm saying that is because it's scientifically proven that you can be healthy on it. Yeah. Cheers for your time, guys.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah. Can I leave you? I've made this DVD that basically is like an introduction to veganism. It's got one of the videos has got slaughterhouse footage on it, but you don't have to watch that. The other one has light slaughterhouse footage on it, but basically it's kind of like an introductory guide. Sort of like the other one is a guide to vegan food, about nutrition, about where you can get it all from, and the other one is why we're vegan. Do you know what I mean? Like talking about the planet, talking about health, but all of them are inspiring and kind of like I said from the beginning. If you get some information, how do you react to it? Yeah. Can I leave you with that?
Yeah. Can do.
Cool. You said what spurred me on to do this?
Yeah.
Which part?
Just sort of. Not so much that I take it you've switched to being vegan or...
Yeah, 5 years.
But to sort of actually go out and try and get other people to
plant seeds.
Yeah.
Because I know that it works.
Okay.
Because it worked on me. Because we have been conditioned to think a certain way. And because our lives are busy and we've got a lot going on. So to then, if we've got a busy life, I'm just saying from my perspective, to change what you're eating, to think about it, to question the society that's around you, to question your families that you've, when you tell them that they're wrong and they say, no, we're right, you know what I mean? It's like, as I say, everyone's life's different, but I understand that once you get given the truth, you then have this ability to see the world properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. And because as I say, we've just been socially conditioned in the UK especially. It's like 10, 15 years ago to not eat meat, you were an outcast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got all these labels. You've got so then, but because I'm a geek and I can remember certain information, I feel that I have the ability to sort of pass it on.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to talk about from me doing this initial interview?
I don't know. Nothing I can think of to ask. But no, I'm certainly coming across more vegans.
Okay.
These past couple of years alone. Yeah.
And not just that, sort of more in place to support it, in supermarkets and restaurants.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a big thing that pushes people over as well, as seeing that it's becoming more convenient to do it and more sort of logistically viable.
Yeah.
Especially on maybe people on the lower income where it's for them to go out of their way to to do that would be trouble otherwise. Where it becomes more accessible, I think we'll get a lot more.
I think it's also just a knowledge though as well. So I don't really eat much of the mock meats or the mock cheeses or the mock milks. Because that just, that's just where my diet is, and it's actually cheaper that way. So basically, you think about the basics that we eat: the rice, the pastas, the vegetables, the fruits, the seeds. They're generally the cheapest in the market. But what I was trying to say is that not necessarily the people who are on lower income will know that that's a thing, and they won't know that actually. Do you know about amino acids? So basically, as long as you eat a variety of foods that have the right amino acids in, your body can build the protein you need. But not everyone even knows what amino acid is to even, you know what I mean? But you've hit a really good point that because of the way consumerism is, because of veganism growing, it will become easier and easier and easier.
I think we'll see sort of a cascade as well.
Cascade.
So there'll come a tipping point where, because there's enough people that are interested in it, places are going to start to offer it more and more.
I think that's already happening.
And it will sort of speed up as it goes on. There's a bigger demand, and so, well, of course, the meat industry is massive. But where people start to capitalise on the vegan sort of
alternatives,
and it's seen as a sort of viable thing for a company to do to offer, then you'll see more and more doing it as well.
It's already happening. Basically the big meat companies in America are starting to realise that plants are cheaper and there's this market for them, so they're investing in companies that are producing plant milks and stuff like that. It's kind of just basically just moving with the markets. Dairy in the UK has been struggling for years. You know what I mean? Not everybody knows that, but it has been, and it's been subsidised by the government. I'm not saying that it's the only business to be subsidised, but there's this really, really good quote that says, "Live by the market, die by the market." Do you know what I mean? If your product is not working, Woolworths, the mines, all those different things, Rover, we had to let them go because they weren't working. But unfortunately, we've got these connections to dairy that we haven't quite got to Woolworths, you know what I mean? But the reality is that it will come down to economics, and milk, growing cows is not as economical as growing plants. Hello, pigeons!
If you want to hold something to be true, to challenge it and have it be challenged and defend it is always, it's a good thing to do.
How do you mean?
Well, we've got not just with the whole animal produce or something, but if something, like you say, it's quite easy just to go on doing what
dismiss
you do until it's challenged. And I think with different people it would go different ways, but some people will turn around and go, well, actually, but then other people will have their very set defence in their head that you can't get through.
They've got that, they're called blinkers. Basically you have these blinkers on, and when you're presented with the truth, you just carry on it's like a ignorance is bliss almost. Thanks for your time, guys.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you.
Enjoy the sun.
I'm sure we will.